accelerate this and you can provide this envelope of views to your customer, this is the basis for new products, and they love it. And so this is totally a virtual circle, because partners see more money, more budgets they can address. Customers see more value in the technology they purchase.
And from your perspective, Marcus or Alex, some of the things that you were mentioning to me, just very in brief, when we talked the other day around the artificial intelligence and around the sort of the data gathering of these tools. I mean, it sounds to me like something that the average Cisco reseller partner, if such an animal exists, and I know there's such a wide range, but nevertheless, most normal organizations could not possibly afford to create this sort of tool. So I'm envisaging I haven't seen the latest iterations. It's been a while since I've been involved with Cisco, but I'm envisaging something that Cisco has the power to create because of its size and scale of operations, and because it has the data that would actually be impossible for any one reseller to be able to create. And so it's going to, by having access to that sort of tool, sounds really powerful to me, and possibly also then gives more power to the customer as well, because perhaps they're getting insights about their own organization and how they're running it, and what's effective and what isn't, and what their options are, and what the ROI might be of making those decisions. Sounds like you're giving power back sort of from the central hub of Cisco, first into your reseller partners, and then extending outwards to the edges where your customer is. Have I got that right? Am I close? Or
no, you're absolutely right, Rick. You spot on. It is about giving the power back to the customer and the full visibility. And I agree with you that you can get different tools that give you like partial, like perspectives on what's going on. And it starts to make a lot of sense when you can, get to one place and say, hey, what do I have? What is my install base? Where am I on my adoption? What am I exposed in any way? One of those, priorities for many customers is risk mitigation, especially at C-level. So how can, what's my posture these days? Am I positioned in the right way? Do I need to do other insights? And that's what we're bringing in. So now you have the combination of these AI machine learning, tools, plus, the people and teams that are going to be supporting it, connecting together to help the customer move forward.
I'm thinking here that one of the core questions, I think we're social animals. Human beings are social animals, and so I'm getting a little bit psychological here, if I can, just for a second. But I think that we constantly we all worry about our place in society and so on and so forth. Some more than others, of course, but nevertheless, it's just part of our genetic makeup. And I think one of the questions that we ask ourselves is, am I normal? And I think that I'm not asking you to answer that question about me. But what I mean by am I normal in this context of this conversation is the customer asking the question, is what I'm doing acceptable? Does it meet a standard that Cisco and Cisco's resellers are saying, yeah, you're fine?
Yeah.
Because they can't necessarily answer that themselves. And having this sort of tool, I'm thinking, gives them this ability not just to know what they're doing themselves, but perhaps to do some comparative analysis between what they're doing and what the average is, and what other organizations are doing, and to tap into that bigger, wider, more holistic picture. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Well, it always, and I love the way you put it, because it brings me to my point today. What is my main communication tool today in my customer success motion? We call it Ask the Expert. And when I was an SC, I used to have, I was a smart guy, and I would go to another customer and talk to two And normally I would think of my speech at that moment and changing from customer to customer. The Ask the Expert sessions are amazing. First, we have a very good structure, and we have a mediator, we have a technical guy, we have it's like a TV show in a way. But we have all of our customers together discussing a single point of the racetrack. The Ask the Expert events happen through the life cycle. We have an Ask the Expert, or how do you go from use to adopt? And then you can have 100 customers questions interacting with each other, with our technicians, the customer success specialists. Those are very open and transparent sessions. And the flow is amazing because we learn a lot from them. We learn a lot. We have this. So this answer exactly your question. This is the way we do.
Actually, that's really interesting, Marcus, because I think that brings in the community aspect, which obviously somebody like Khosrow Salman, who's organized this event for us, has been very much involved in that community aspect. So we've got the data. We've got the tools, we've got the process, and then the bit that I was talking about earlier, we're now perhaps bringing back in and saying, but we've also then got the bringing the human beings together to discuss it, to make sense of it, and to make decisions around it, perhaps through community and through sharing of some of this stuff. So it all sounds very exciting, and we could talk for ages on this, but what I want to do is kind of bring it to a little bit of a conclusion about the future now. So I wanted to say, so this is like the sort of the last part of our discussion around, right, so what's 2021 onwards got in store for Cisco, for Cisco's partners, for Cisco's customers? But I did want to just also ask you, if you would please, just to give a moment's thought to 2020, because it's been such a strange year. I mean, so terrible for so many people, and I think we should acknowledge that it's been very, very bad for a lot of people. And I feel very, 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 much that for anyone who's been impacted negatively by what's happened with COVID-19, I think it's been terrible. However, it is what it is, and we are where we are. So I am sure that this has in some ways set Cisco's plans back, but it may perhaps in other ways, due to the nature of what customer success is and does, have perhaps even moved things forwards. So a moment on that subtopic, but then your concluding thoughts on 2021 onwards would be very welcome, guys, if that's okay.
Excellent. No, that's a great point. And if we look at things in perspective, Rick, it is going to be the third year of Cisco implementing customer success. Started up, build the organization and then started to scale. So there's a lot coming on 2021, in terms of tools, in terms of partner execution. We're starting to see the first areas where customers are saying, yes, this is the way I want to work with Cisco, and the same from the partner side. In terms of pandemic and COVID, of course, it was very strange. Like anybody else, we were able to get together back in February, and that's it. But it gave customer success a chance to focus on what's important for the customers. And we have so many great stories, especially on the healthcare space, but not only. Government sector, many places where, basically was pivoting and aligning with the customers and helping them drive something that, it wasn't a priority, and suddenly there was the number one thing to do. So that proves that, having these, muscle that can really focus on the customer, on where they need. And we knew that that's the key thing, start with the customer and then work the processes internally. So a lot of good things for Cisco, absolutely, in 2021. Marco,
I was thinking because this is sometimes it's not obvious. People think the emerging markets, well, lower use of technology. It's the country. The amount of examples we can give of tremendous impact on a certain community, on a certain region, on a certain aspect of it's just amazing. And I think I feel very proud of what we have achieved, and again, not going into technical details, but we have been able to keep a hospital up and running after all of the IT management had to go home because of COVID, because we had the tools to do it remotely. Okay, this is an example. So we did it digitally through our tools. But then things like, we have very big banks that never, would have never dared have home workers. Like, they tested 100 guys last year and said we are not going to do that. And then changing 70,000 workers in 45 days to home work. Those things are amazing, with an enormous impact on economies that are heavily dependent of their administrator, their management, where banks in some of these countries are the center of the life. So it's just amazing. I think it's amazing, and I feel extremely proud. And this has shown power of what we're doing. It has been very powerful. The speed, the execution speed, the impact. It's amazing.
So we're gonna go over to a bit of a Q&A session for those who have been listening. If you want to ask Marcos, if you want to ask Alex, if you want to ask myself, come to that. But obviously I'm not Cisco. But if you want to ask any questions, then feel free to do so. If you put them in the chat or Q&A or whatever. And what I might do is I think we've got some helpers already answering questions. But before we do that, I just want to check in with Alex and Marcos just to see if they had any final words they just wanted to, any thoughts that they had that they want to end on before we go to Q&A. So let's start with you, Alex, if that's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you so much, Rick, again, for hosting us. And number one thing is, the value, no doubt about the value that customer success brings to an organization like Cisco, and especially to our customers, and the power that it has, in driving transformation. And we know it's a journey, and yes, we want things as ready immediately, but as we drive to those journey, we're going to see all the benefits that come through. So excited to be here, and especially for our partner community and for our customers, happy to be on this together.
Thank you very much, Alex. And Marcos.
Well, thank you, Rick. And maybe my last words, I'm really thrilled about the future. And by the way, I'm really thrilled to learning to deal with my new team member, because of course the AI engine now is a new team member, and engaging him is sometimes fun, sometimes difficult, always objective. But I'm really liking it. I say my team is liking it. He's not going to replace us, but he's helping us achieve things that I had never seen before. And I'm just thrilled to see what's next, what's coming next.
That sounds very exciting. And from my perspective, I've got a final message, which is to absolutely any organization that sells, supports, implements, manages, or otherwise is involved in technology in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, is you can no longer go down the old sell the product and let the customer get on with it route. That is over. The new model is you partner with that organization to understand their business requirements, and then you work with them, yes, of course, including your product, but including your customer success managers as well, which is part of what they have purchased. It's not free. It's included in the purchase to help them achieve their outcomes. And increasingly, you will find that unless you offer that and offer it well and do it well, your customers will no longer be your customers. They will have gone somewhere else. So that's my message to anyone out there who's thinking, is this important? The answer is, you've got to jump now, my friends. You've really got to jump now. Okay, so on that note, let's see if we have any questions that have come up. And I don't know, Khosrow, if you are available or somebody to come in and help us, if there have been any questions that have been asked that maybe we can put to Alex and to Marcos.
Thank you so much, Rick, for the whole presentation. Yes, there is one final question that we were not able to answer, which is for Marcos and Alex, is that what were lessons learned? What would Cisco do differently in 2021? So what do we learn? What could we do different?
And I think that's a great point. Some of those things, are in the process of being implemented, especially working with partners. It's, something that we know that we need to continue working closer and developing. And there have been a series of initiatives, and it started to show, the direction and which way to go. And especially how we are looking into, each one, introducing adoption in a packaged way to customers so they can benefit, for each one of the architectures. So, several areas, as we said, it's a journey, and we're constantly looking at, okay, what can be done, what can be improved.
Yeah, I would add to that, Alex, totally agree with you. Maybe 2 points. I have, in my field work, I have taken too long to see how much of a silo breaker this methodology is, and how much of a transformer it can become. So I would probably have started earlier to engage my cousins and the other departments, because one of the big things of what we do is transparency. It's something like a repository of true information. And as we deploy it through divisions, departments, different organizations within Cisco, everybody needs it and everybody likes it. So this is probably what I would have started earlier, Guys, this is a way for you to be extremely honest, transparent, and compliant on your day-to-day basis.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. I think we reached the end of our session.
I think so. So from my perspective, thank you, Cisco, for for organising the the technical side of this through your fantastic Cisco WebEx tool. So shout out to WebEx, to yourself, Khosrow, as well, and of course Alex and Marcos. It's great to have met you over the process of getting this put together, and I've really enjoyed myself hosting this. And just to say, if there is anybody out there who is looking to get some training around customer success management, please do visit us at practicalcsm.com. We're happy to talk to you about your customer success training and certification needs, if that is relevant to you. And other than that, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick and Khosrow.